best time to use your knife and trim the cloth. The glue is still soft. It's just now starting to get jelly-like. And so any time after it is jellied, but before it's hardened, cut your excess cloth off. That way you don't hurt your knife. It's a lot safer to do it that way too. Is to get what they call dragon's teeth. That means that when you use too much glue, that it starts oozing out on the other side down here, just like it was oozing out up here. Well, it was oozing out up here because actually the way I was putting it on, there's not so much there that it's going to ooze out on the bottom side. But these dragon's teeth will be down here like fangs in the corners, and up like this. And then they'll be more or less all over on both sides, so that when the pneumatic closes and opens, those teeth do two things. They make the bellows too stiff, particularly back here, and when you get dragon's teeth in the corners at the hinge, it's called hinge bound. In the front, why, it just cuts the cloth all to shreds, because the hot glue is as hard as glass. Now then, we're not going to close these. We're going to leave them open. And that's important. We don't want to close this at all. We want to leave it open until it is completely dry. That means until the glue is hard as glass. Then we close it. There's a reason for that. Primarily it's for the stability of the hinge, and we don't want to do anything that will upset the stability of the hinge. You can also, before it's dry, you can take a block of wood right back here at the hinge, and not on the movable leaf, but rather on the stationary one, hammer that cloth down so that you're sure it's good and tight. Now then, we'll do it on the movable leaf, and then when the iron hits it and you've got a nice tight cover, which, by the way, we're going to do that before the glue is completely hardened. We're going to wait until the glue is in a semi-hard state, a little bit harder than jelly, like it is right now. It's too young right now to heat, but we'll wait until it is adhered. And here's something about hot glue that most people don't understand. Hot glue is not a mechanical bond. Your mechanical bonds are glues like Elmer's, epoxy, things like that. That is a mechanical bond. Hot glue is a chemical bond, and it chemically bonds to things like the fibers in cloth and wood and leather. It chemically bonds to a lot of other things too. It chemically bonds to glass. There are other things that it bonds to, but primarily it's a chemical bond. Secondarily, it's a mechanical bond. The other glues are not the same. They are mostly mechanical bonds. Very, very little of it is a chemical bond. To locate holes, sometimes it's even more convenient, although you can feel them. You know about where they are. Take a bellows here that's not covered, for example, and we can find these little holes. Now we're trying to locate those holes and punch them out. And so I'm finding the big holes with my fingers, and then my plan is to locate these little ones. And this is the cruder way of doing it. As you can see, I've already done it on the back side the same way, which does not have feeder holes. But I'll show you another way of doing this. We'll do this the quicker way. put glue on both the cloth. The way to do this, one way of doing it, is to do it with the transfer method. Get you a pen, stare at the wood, and you'll be able to find that hole right there. Your eye retains the image of the hole and will immediately locate it for you. You won't even have to make any kind of a transfer or a pattern. The eye has that retentivity, so when you lift the cloth back up, there is your image in the retina of your eye. Although it may not show up on camera, it does show up in the glue. And you can actually find these holes like this. And punch them out beforehand. Of course, this is the nicest way of doing it. I'm going to get quite punched out there. Now then, we'll go back, putting some more glue. And if you think you won't be able to find those holes in the glue pattern on the cloth, then the best way of doing it is either by eye with a pencil like I showed you the first time, or you can actually take some coloration and put around the hole itself so that the glue will pick up the color and deposit it on the cloth. Even graphite or something like that would work. Here is an example of transferring holes after you've colored them. I've took just a green pencil, colored pencil, and colored the small holes to transfer. I could have done it with the big ones too,